Many seem to think that the US is in this war with Iran because Iran started it. Trump's being misled. This was always Trump's plan, or it's because of Israel. Well, while the misled and it's because of Israel are partly true, they're not the full truth of the whole situation here. What if I told you that this has all been a part of an in-depth plan spanning over 30 years at least? You might be a bit confused at first, but once you start to see all the connections that Trump's family has to Netanyahu's, you start to see this whole conflict in a different light. Much like the Iran-Contra scandal / the start of the Iraq War, 20 years later after it initially started, which was also a part of the corrupt elites plus their cronies' plans too, by the way. Netanyahu's wanted all of this stuff in Iran to happen for the last 40 years. According to David Icke, now I know that there are some of you guys who are going to be like, oh, the crazy man who believes in lizard people, he's not very logical. Just like the legacy media plus system brainwashed you to think. However, here he uses logic and facts to emphasize the raw truth about all of this and how we got here with Iran. Now, instead of being closed-minded and letting your brainwashing control you,
just sit down, shut up, and listen.
And if you don't grasp the origin and the agenda behind it, then you're never going to really grasp the way it's playing out. You're going to see it in a certain way. As you rightly say, you're going to see the Iran situation as something that is about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just the vehicle. He's not the origin. People say, oh, Trump did this, Trump did that. Trump is basically a not very bright, and I'm being underwhelming there, a not very bright bloke, but someone who has been put in there for a specific reason. And that reason, among many other things, well, it's twofold. One, it's to trash the current system. He's done it with this war. He's done it with tariffs. He's done it in multiple ways already. And the other thing, and this is why he's surrounded, at the same time he's trashing the system, he's surrounded by AI oligarchs, because the other part of his reason for being put in there is trash the old system and facilitate the unfolding of the new system. And this old system and new system are actually the creations of the same force, what I call this global cult, this global network of secret societies that plays out in our reality the agenda that's coming from another reality. So there's this this concept of creative destruction, and it goes along with a phrase I coined back in the 90s, the totalitarian tiptoe. That's when you start with that. It goes along with a phrase I coined back in the 90s, the totalitarian tiptoe. That's when you start with A and you're going to Z. You know where you're going, but you go in steps, you go in stages, because you can't go from A to Z overnight. You go as fast as you can, but not so fast that you alert too many people. Although the closer you get to Z, the more people will be alerted, obviously, by the things that are going on in the world. So if we pick it up at the start of the 20th century, the world was in a certain way. It was in a certain situation. And if you look at what we call human history, what we think is human history, what we're told is human history, it's a constant process of centralizing power.
I've been saying this for a while, but Trump was installed by the elites, particularly the lobbyist cronies, because it makes the most sense business-wise for them, and also the people here in the US would have rioted if he didn't win simply because of how many people had voted for him for the rigged elections. Now, I say that because we haven't had a true fair election since around the time when JFK was becoming president. This would be due to everyone catching on to the bullshit and realizing that the presidential elections had been a sham since after fucking JFK was assassinated by the deep state and organized crime. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I am wrong about Trump and initially thinking that he was going to go about getting revenge against the system by dismantling it, and those who enabled all the garbage slash bullshit that he was put through by the last administration. However, I was right about the fact of the matter that he was installed as a president or allowed to become president to serve, their ulterior motives. Just a quick reminder, my dudes, to smash that like button and destroy the shit out of the subscribe button if you guys are enjoying this. It really does help me out as I do edit and do all this stuff by myself. And not only that, but also does help get this content out through the CensorTube algorithm as well as the others to let people know that it's okay to question these shitty corrupt systems we live in, and it's completely normal and natural. And I would appreciate you guys even more than I already do if you did so. But with that being said though, my dudes, let's go ahead and hop back into the video. Also, think about what Ike said about those surrounding Trump. It's people like Peter Thiel, Bill Gates senpai, ooh-woo, Mark Zuckerberg, etc., which he has had in the White House, right? All these people that are a part of the deep state, which he's supposed to be dismantling. Now, this is what David Icke had to say about the current Iran scenario.
If you look at where it's coming from, there is a particular sequence. There's a sequence of events that are leading the world to this ultimate AI human fusion dystopia. And if you come down into the world that we experience every day, then it looks a certain way. It looks like, Trump's made this decision to go to war with Iran, and he's done it in league with Israel. And when did Trump make the decision and all this stuff? That's what it looks like. It does.
Right.
If you go to this level, it's just part of a sequence that's long planned. This whole Iran thing we're seeing unfold now is something that's been in the planning for a long time. And you've only got to look at Netanyahu. He's been calling for it since 1996 or even before. But it's not something that's just happened and is the whim of Donald Trump. What they want you to think is it's the whim of Donald Trump. No, Trump's the vehicle. Not a very bright vehicle, which is great for manipulating politicians. It's just one step in a vast journey towards the total subjugation of the mind of humans through AI.
Then let's take a look at all of the really ironic Trump family connections to Netanyahu / the corrupt Israeli establishment.
You look at a few things in terms of Trump. First of all, he was a close buddy, to say the least, of Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was involved, and he was a gopher, Jeffrey Epstein. He was a gopher for Mossad and the CIA and stuff like that. And you can be a gopher for this much deeper level of the cult and become very rich and at your level very influential. But you're still a gopher. I've said many times, if you can see them, they're gophers, because the real people that behind the scenes don't put themselves on public display. So Trump's this close buddy of Epstein. Epstein's running a blackmail operation. It's very clear that Trump's into this Epstein network up to his neck. And then suddenly, apparently out of nowhere, he announces he's running for office, running for president in 2015, 2016. And by this time, of course, he has a daughter who's married Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner is a lifelong friend, literally since he was a kid, of Benjamin Netanyahu, who was a close friend of Charles Kushner, Jared's father. Then you have Donald Trump's father, Fred, who was a close friend of Netanyahu when he was over in America as the Israeli ambassador to the UN, etc. And suddenly it all starts to come together. You've got the Epstein, Mossad, CIA, absolutely dominant Mossad blackmail operation. He's a friend of Trump. You've got now Jared Kushner's married Trump's daughter. You've got the background with Netanyahu and Kushner. You've got the background of Netanyahu and Fred Trump. And suddenly, it's an incredible little group, isn't it? And what happens when he runs for president? Sheldon Adelson hands over $100 million. Sheldon Adelson, who's got Zionism and Israel running through his DNA, or he had before he left us. Now, in this run up to the second term, you got another $100 million plus from Miriam Adelson, Sheldon Adelson's wife, and then you start. And this is a thing, when I see people now in the alternative media saying, oh, it's Israel, and Trump's controlled by Israel. I'm going, you mean you couldn't see it in 2015, 2016?
They don't want to see
it. Look
it.
at his funders. If you were bringing it round to Iran now, just by coincidence, sits back in amazement, can't believe it. You had the peace negotiations, he said in quotes, with Iran in the run-up to this war, conducted by Steve Witkoff, who's an ultra-Zionist and Trump's golf partner, and acknowledged throughout Washington, it would seem, as, to say the least, not the brightest bulb in the box. You have Jared Kushner, who was the dominant one. And Jared Kushner is basically an agent of Netanyahu, and Netanyahu is an agent of the cult.
So does it make sense why he's been doing all the stuff that the corrupt Israeli government / Netanyahu want, especially with the Iran war? Because remember, Bibi, the big narcissist baby, and the corrupt Israeli regime cannot win this shit with Iran without the help of Big Daddy USA. Just look at what Iran did to Israel's impenetrable Iron Dome. But anyways, the connections part, right? Trump's daughter, Ivanka, is married to a man who not only himself is a friend of Bibi Netanyahu's, but also had a father who was a close friend of him as well, too. Then we have Grandpappy Trump, whom happens to look like a crooked sleazeball in all honesty to me. Fred Trump, whom was also good friends with Netanyahu before he became Israeli prime minister, too. Next, you have the fact of the matter that the extreme Zionists, the Adelsons, both gave Trump a small loan of $100 million for both of his presidential campaigns, even too. Then let's also not forget that he had a big Zionist, Steve Witkoff, as the peace negotiator for Iran. Now, after hearing all of that, can you really say that you're surprised that all this stuff is happening with Iran? So even if, say, Trump's intentions were / are good or pure, it wouldn't matter because those around him could manipulate him and use his own arrogance against him. But that's enough about what I think. What do you guys think about all the stuff going on with Iran and Israel and the war that is involving the U.S.? Let us know your guys' thoughts, opinions, and concerns about this and what David Icke had to say in the comment section down below. I would love to hear it. As usual, though, my dudes, if you guys did make it to this point in the video, go and leave the phrase "Deep State Eat My Cake" in the comment section down below to let me know that you made it to the end and that you guys are part of the 1,000,000% tribe. As usual, if you guys did enjoy, please don't forget to, hit that like button and destroy the shit out of the subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to me. And more importantly, it also helps us to get even further in the CensorTube algorithm out to even more people to let them know that it's okay to question these shitty, corrupt systems we live in and that it's perfectly natural to do so. Also, if you guys would like a more interactive experience with us, come join us live every Wednesday and Friday from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time, where we talk about conspiracy facts such as this, play a variety of games such as Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, etc. Whatever really floats the mood, or chill out and have a good time, make some dark humor memes, and just vibe out, As usual, though, my dudes, I appreciate you guys very much for being here. Thank you. Much love. And until next time, please don't forget to live long and prosper. Take care and peace. Keep it 1,000,000% real. And as always, fuck the system. I will see you guys on the flip side. Z-Trend.
My people of this country and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough, come stand with us, take USA back. And every time we pull up, all you're gonna see is American.